Yeah. He just like say he called this morning.
It's not my fault, is it? I got mine turned off. Or silenced. And then this is the highlight statute, or highlight portion is what applies to us.
So the Vincent Gold.
I'm gonna run out and grab my coffee, I forgot it.
Okay. Hard live here, I believe.
Morning.
So when you go,
I will be, going from August the 11th through the 14th.
so we gotta do this before that.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's possible, I don't know where the shoes.
they're coming in now in June.
And somebody over at my Aunt Lynch is picking berries, they recognize that four-wheeler, some old fella. He said he had permission from Mike, I said, agenda. Amy. We'll have to,
Okay, so we've got
Call the meeting order.
the order by Allen,
second, to see Mike,
Vincent.
get a hold of Mike and make sure he's here next month. I'm gonna have surgery on the 8th at a shoulder place. So I'll try to be here, but I don't know how I'm feeling.
Right.
Just
So you're gonna be, in his surgery August 8th?
Yeah.
Oh. And Mike had called earlier and said that he's having HVAC, problems for the last 3 days and that, somebody I guess is coming to repair that. So that's why he's not here this morning. Okay. I start, Alan, I put the, claims minutes and allowance docket there. So if we could start with claims. We have a motion to approve claims for June.
May I make a motion?
Second.
Same thing, minutes for June. Approval of those, have a motion.
I make a motion.
Thank you.
And then, allowance docket for payroll, need a motion.
I make a motion.
Second.
Then next, me and Alan were just speaking briefly there on the, signage I talked about, during the last meeting, in June there. We have got, that stop sign, which I was gonna order, wanted to check and see if we had any others, and, Alan said that there was another one there, at the end of, was it Hoosier Lane?
Who's the donor?
That's faded as well. So we're gonna see what the pricing was and, see if I can get, 3, just to have a backup in case we do an accident or something there. And then, we did want to, check Gordon as far as there is a dead end sign, as far as it's in bad shape, but there, the alley just ends at one house in behind the Legion. It's considered Church Street. Do we have to put that? There is like a berm, a raised area on the blacktop across there. There is no other streets that cut off of it, or it just, like I said, it just ends at a driveway. Do we have to put that sign back up, or can we do away with that, or do you?
We don't have to put it back up, but, you know, the question, the most important thing is there a turnaround back there?
No,
No.
the people don't even know it's a street.
So that's why I didn't know what our liability was. I thought we
Well,
were
I mean,
checking you.
It's clear to anybody the street ends there, right?
Yes, yes.
So no, you don't have to replace the sign.
Okay.
You know, whether or not it's what you should do for safety reasons, without looking at it, I can't really give you an opinion, okay?
Talking about the house that says just north of Legion, kind of in line with the shotgun shooting lines, that house that sits right there, that's what you're talking about?
No, this is, where, what I refer to as where Mary and Boyd Simcox live there in behind the church. Like if you're passing.
Oh,
Coming that way, headed like it's B. Richter's
Yeah.
Backyard.
Okay.
or Betty Brown, or Betty, I'm sorry, Betty Bradshaw.
Yeah.
Remember how that right there, just dead ends right there in front of that house at Home Free Homes. And I put it like I say on the list, Alan mentioned maybe it's just, you know, doing away with
I
it.
mean, unless it's needed for emergency services, as far as identification, you know?
No, it has, like I say, there's we gonna call it a berm or whatever, you know, kind of at the edge of it.
What's on the other side of it?
Just someone's yard, it goes into the next property owner's yard.
We have several.
Isn't there
In the
like
town.
another road there about 30 feet up, like where Don Cook lived?
I'm trying.
I know they don't connect, but.
Right, they don't connect, but I mean, yes, I'm sure at one time, you know what I'm saying, there was, you know what I'm saying, a throughway there.
Well, I can't tell you I can tell you don't have to replace the sign. That's a ministerial decision. You know, whether or not the sign being down creates a safety hazard or somebody gets injured. I mean, yeah, I haven't looked at it, so, but that's your consideration.
Right.
Is the absence of the sign,
Right.
since it was there before and now it's gone, does that create a safety hazard?
Right, I'm just worried about the liability if
Well,
anything.
that's a whole, your first question was, do you have to replace it? The answer is no. Should you replace it? I don't know. Okay?
Here come Mike.
I would only say, I don't know who lives right around there, but as long as they would be easily found, the 911 call or something, you know? Because it's the local fire department, I don't know exactly where to go, but the police would call their residents right there. I don't know if is there any other?
We got a half a dozen of them like that, and one of them's got
A sign.
a sign. Got one here where Shane Lieber used to live, that's a street, beside her house, in between him and that Marjorie. That's the street, and got one out here for your dad's old place,
Right? That's, yeah.
you know,
I've asked about that. That's just ends right there. It's an alley that goes in behind that old house.
yeah, but I mean, it's, basically it's a street.
It's a street to nowhere. Fair enough. I mean, as long as it doesn't pose any issue with safety.
I didn't break
And
anything.
we wanna, like we were just talking about, there's the sign at the end of, where, Mary and Boyd Simcox used to live. It's now owned by Norma Free, the road dead ends. We're thinking about just doing away with the sign altogether instead of putting it back up, because we have other areas in the town, it's the same issue as far as it dead ends, but there's nothing, you know what I'm saying, it's clear, it's open, it's, you know, it's not.
An issue.
So are the three of y'all okay, if you wanna just do away with the sign and not find another sign? Okay. So there's our decision. Okay. And let's show Mike just, where Mike got here, so he was able to.
Michelle told me she had class,
Okay.
and then she got up, said, no, it would be scheduled, so.
All right.
I may not be able to make it next month. I'm having shoulder replacement on the 8th, so. I don't know how many days that is before our next meeting, but just to let you know.
And under, new business there, the, last thing as far as what we have on there is the CCR report, is now on the new website. So we are in compliance by having that on there. Now, telling us.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, because the gas company hit the water main out here. Last month, we talked about putting a meter in down there at the casino. Baston Logan shot me a quote on the, actually cutting and putting a new one in. And he came up with something else. It's a different valve where we won't have to shut them out of water. It's actually, they just hot tap it, put it in there in a flow meter, and it'll be tied into our SCADA and everything else, and it's like 45% cheaper. But I don't have a price on it yet, but he said it'd be substantially cheaper on that, so I'm still waiting for,
But we can still shut it off if we need to. Right?
yeah, we can shut it off, but
What is hot tap? I'm just curious.
just, instead of having to shut the line down and cut it, put the flanges in, we just put a saddle on there, drill it, and this'll go in there. It's like a needle that goes in there.
Gotcha.
Goes the flow and everything, but it'll be tied into our SCADA. But Tim with River City, he still hasn't, made sure it's compatible yet and everything like that. Well, that'll be another expense. We'll have to put some way to get power down there at the end of the casino property on that pole out there by the hydrant to be able to run power to it. But besides that, let's see. Oh, we haven't found, we talked about, I know I spoke with you, I don't remember if we even talked about in the board meeting about the thumper locator
Yeah.
on that job down there at 11. But, we called the guy that had one originally several months ago. He does not have it anymore. We haven't found one that Nathan's comfortable with. So I'm trying to make sure Nathan's happy before I buy it.
But on there, you got approved the money for it?
Yeah, NDOT approved us and actually put extra in there just for us to be able to have the money to buy that.
Good deal.
And the other thing, I just found out about this Willard and Beth now, a guy from the sand company. I don't know if you want to talk about that at the meeting or not.
I saw that on there.
He was complaining to Beth. I haven't spoke to him. I don't think Willard has either. He's getting a 2-inch meter out there. The guy that bought the sand company property, and he was complaining to Beth and them saying that he didn't want to pay a minimum of $150 bill while he was doing construction. And that's kind of where we were at with it. I mean, you get what you pay for. I mean, we can't.
And you might drag construction on for a long time.
Yeah, so
You know.
exactly. So I have his number. I'll call him.
Well, they don't pay the bill, why is it look weird?
Yeah.
If he can buy that large of a property, he can afford $150 bill a month.
If he's not gonna use water,
Well, then another thing similar, Colin here, he's wanting to put a water line extension up at the top of Heaven Hill. And it's 3,000 feet. He was asking about, us paying for the material, if he paid for everything else, and, I did the math on it. And if he's the only one that's on that line, which there's nothing up there, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Heaven Hill. He's at the very dead end of Heaven Hill. And in 20 years, if he's the only one on it, we still won't recoup the money off of it, so it's not really feasible for us to invest, and that's kind of where I left today. Hope it didn't make you mad, but I mean, if it breaks in the middle of the night, we're all the way out there in the middle of nowhere fixing it. And then, the only other thing is, John Hurley called me, yesterday morning about his back trailer that he used for when we did the lead and copper. It's got the pressure washer on, and then she backs it out. I told him several months ago if he was interested in selling it sometime, after he was done with everybody, that we might be interested in buying it. He said that he would sell it for what he owed on it. He didn't tell me what the price was yet, but I would say it's a pretty good deal. But it's not something we're gonna use every day or every week, but I mean, that's a handy machine, cleaning out valve boxes or doing locates or things like
I
that.
would say if he offers you a good deal.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna, as soon as he hasn't got back with me, but as soon as I get a price on it, and I'll look at a new one, I'll see what it is, but that thing's pretty nice to have. Like I said, it's not something we're gonna use every day, but it is something that
You need,
it is valuable to have.
Work smarter, not harder.
And he's made plenty of money off of it, so I would imagine we could probably get a pretty good deal on what he's wanting to get rid of it for. Other than that, that's all I got.
now, there's no way to get, there's no water anywhere closer around Heaven Hill, is there?
No, he would either have to come in from River Road on 111, and then we dead end up on Head Hill, but closer to Keene Hill, it's right there off of Keene Hill.
I thought there wasn't anything up there.
Now, there's a couple houses before you get to him that they're on wells, and that's what I told him. I said, you're gonna be better off just putting in a cistern, you know, up there, things like that. No, I don't, I don't know if he wants to put in, I guess Dale Miller quoted him a price on it, astronomical. But- And I told him that, you know, he paid for Dale to do it, and then he paid for the pipe, you know, I told him that we would go up there and help as, you know, needed for it, and wouldn't charge him our end of the labor on it, but he was looking for something more than that. If it was something where we were gonna hook on to 20, 30 people, it would be a different story.
Yeah.
But that's in the middle of nowhere, and he's gonna get into more than what that quote was too, up in there with all the rock. I don't think he's gonna get it done for the amount of money that Dale even quoted him for.
3,000 feet's a long run.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where they hit the line at.
Oh, he's there.
Okay, as far as under old business, Dale's still at the lake working on the aeration. He has, we opened up a ditch line over to the lake, so they should have the fountain and stuff for aeration running, I would say either late this week, or first part of next week. Everything's here, like I said, it's just finishing now. Bank parking lot, as you see, Dale Miller finished that job, and down by the post office, both those are complete. Shelter house has been complete, as far as the construction, and Mr. Hess finished the concrete on it. We went down and dressed it, put grass seed and stuff. I did have, we did bring the tables from the lake, the two that we had down there, up to the shelter house for the 4th of July deal. I was gonna take one back down there for now. Remember, we had the school's gonna be making some picnic tables for us. But the shop teacher, it went into break, and he never got me a list yet of materials that we're to provide. So as soon as school's back in session, I'm sure we'll be back on that as far as getting those completed.
That looks good down there. I haven't walked up to it yet, but it looks good from the road.
Yeah, I think it turned out really well. Cabinets are installed as far as for the girls for storage in there. We had a little issue with that as far as moving the electric and stuff up, but they got it all resolved. Actually, I think it was a computer cable, wasn't it, Beth?
Are you satisfied with that?
Yes.
Okay, Jimmy said as far as cemetery report, he has met with a couple of people there that's working on purchasing graves, but they still haven't picked what they want. And then there was someone that came from, I believe, Chicago, kind of here. They did some research as far as genealogy, and he showed them where their graves were. And then the only burial that we've had has been married to Mason, which just passed away last week. Okay, anything, Gordon, on your? You want?
From the annex,
Yeah.
I'll go back, kind of went over it a little bit earlier, but I'll cover it again. The relevant statute regarding this annexation is pass it around. So that's the petition. Yeah, right, the highlighted portion. It's section 5.1. Tells you what this is, it's kind of, kind of ironic, you have to petition yourself, okay? But that's what the statute says. For 100% ownership of the area to be annexed, you have to file a petition. And so you guys today are gonna do the first step, which is to petition yourselves to annex the property. That petition and notice of hearing, you have to have a hearing within 30 days of today's date to, to file to have the public hearing. So we calculated that's on before August 14th, because there's 31 days in July, and today's the 15th. I'm thinking out loud here. You know, what we might be able to do is you guys can go ahead and sign the petition today, but direct the clerk treasurer not to accept it until Friday.
Right, because that puts us 1 week out, it's on the 14th before our next meeting.
Right. But Friday would be the.
That would work, yeah.
The 7th, the 18th, right?
Yeah,
And that would be within the 30 days.
Now Friday's 18th.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna have you do is, sign the petition today, which that has to be done in open public meeting, okay, because you guys are signing it as the trustees of your legal position as the trustees of the town board of Elizabeth. That's what your legal, so you'll sign that. I'll direct the clerk, treasurer not to accept that until Friday, and we'll schedule the public hearing at 10:30 at a regular next meeting. Now that notice of public hearing, first of all, it's different than this type of a regular meeting. This regular meeting, people have a right to observe, they don't have a right to be heard unless you guys say they need to be heard. But in a public meeting, people have a right to be heard. So if somebody wants to speak in opposition or in favor of it, they have a right to be heard that day. You have to let them speak. I doubt anybody's gonna be here, but that's the legal part. And it has to be published in the newspaper at least 20 days before the hearing. So our next meeting is when?
It's August the 19th.
yes.
So it'd have to be published no later than July the 30th.
Did you say you could handle that?
I will take it with me today, but I'm not gonna, and I'll take it down and tell them that to go ahead and publish it next week, okay? But I'm gonna have you guys date it Friday, okay? So it'll be dated Friday. And that's fine, because if it were an individual that was doing it, I mean, they could have brought it in, next week, or they could have brought it in last week, okay? So anyway, and then you have a public hearing, and then you cannot sign the ordinance annexing the property any sooner than 14 days after the public hearing. But we can do that at the September meeting. Okay, so it's a 3-step process: petition, public hearing, sign the ordinance.
Okay, so they're gonna sign the,
Well, they got to look at it, and they need a motion and a second and a
Signature.
signature.
we wanna take the time now then to
Yeah.
review that?
Yes. And that's, ensure you're, let's see. Yeah, and I've got the proposed, the ordinance, it looks a lot like that, but I won't bother you with that until the August 19th meeting. So you'll sign it, print your name, and then
And this is still gonna be a two-step annex, right?
No. Victor McCauley, we talked about it at the last meeting, Victor McCauley says that even without the highway, you know, over on the west side, along 11, that southwest corner, we don't even need that to get to 1/8. So he said, we're relying on him to, based upon his expertise, that it's, 1/8 of the whole property is contiguous or next to the town. Yeah, so it's a one-step process. Well, hang on. Hang on, man. That motion is-
I'll make a motion.
Gotta make motion.
We got a motion on the floor.
I second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hang on. All in favor? Okay. We want this to be proper because we're being videotaped. Okay.
Absolutely.
Anybody have any questions? And don't date, I'll date it, okay? I might have to change the date on that. Yeah.
I guess there's been no further information on the river property.
We're still waiting on the
We're
appraisal.
still waiting on appraisals. I did speak with, Tony with the 12 counties and with Marvin
There you go.
Schmidt, both. Basically, they're backing out the structure, the house that was on the property as far as down there beside the well field. And then they ran into not a whole lot, but a little bit of issue to where they had to go a couple different ways as far as to figure the firehouse property there, because they were both doing them at the same time. I need to sign as well, but.
Never want to change the date on that.
Okay.
Well, actually, I think we're okay. Just, we need to also to have a motion and a second for the clerk treasurer not to accept that for at least until Friday. Okay?
So motion is made for me not to accept until, July 18th.
Yes. Hang on, that's not gonna work.
No, have each one on a Monday.
We'll do it till Monday. Monday.
Correction. Motion made not to accept until July 21st.
Correct.
Mike made motion. For Vincent.
So do you have a stamp that says received?
Yes,
Will you, Monday, you stamp it as received, okay?
okay.
Okay. Now I'm gonna get a copy of this. I don't have anything else.
You got the minutes in there, for Mike to sign? Got the minute document on there for Mike to sign?
Thank you.
As, the building, the old firehouse. I don't know if this has been brought up before or not, but could they not give that to the town and take it as tax write-off?
They don't pay taxes. It's not a problem.
That got us through.
I'll touch it.
Well, then, what would they do with the money that?
They're gonna build a new firehouse out old, Loggins Corner.
But I mean, they wouldn't have to pay any taxes on the money that they would receive for the building.
Right.
That seems like a double standard.
No problem.
Any problem, organization.
Well, then, they couldn't sell the building for any more than they have in materials.
Right.
They can't make
And
a
that's
profit.
what, that was his thing, or Mr. Bratcher brought up, they were just trying to recoup what they could that they had put into it.
So they would have to provide Documentation receipts for the,
Or I would think so. I don't know.
I still think the fire hydrants is a good swap.
Yes, we
what was
have
that idea on fire hydrants?
They're wanting us to put in fire hydrants,
two
up by
eleven.
211, and was there two?
The main two that they addressed to me first off was, at the intersection of 11 and 211,
Right.
close to Dollar General, and then close to the 211 Food Mart,
Right.
there, because of the fuel situation.
And we was gonna do that, in exchange for that, in exchange for the dog.
Yeah, okay, well, that does make sense.
That will up their rating.
Lower their income, everybody, all the way around.
Everybody will benefit from that, all the way around, on their insurance.
Like a win-win then, sounds good.
Okay, so we had, I think everything that I can think of on the dock here. Did you all have anything? Do you have anything else?
You get the light put up and he wanted.
What's that?
In the alley,
They are still on it.
It's a street, it's not an alley.
It's a street.
exactly, that's why it's very light.
If it's got a name.
It is Harrington, I promise you.
It will be a street light, not an alley light.
It'll be a 4-lane road by the time we get it.
See, when I go skulking, I want to have the ability to see where I'm going.
Did you look into that dye for the lake?
I have not yet, because of the aeration, we're gonna see if that works. Because if we do that, trying to think of who was telling me, it will take care of the algae probably
That's what I was
altogether, but it could also, I mean, it's gonna kill it all. And we want it to not be
We want to
as
have
pronounced, but we don't want, I don't know whether we want to kill it all or not, because that.
food source.
Yes.
All right, that makes sense.
And the other thing was, as far as, like, say, you can hear the spring, creek, whatever, running into
Oh, yeah.
the heavy end. But you see, it's not running, back out of the lake. So there's a lot of water feeding back and forth in order for it not to raise and, run over. So
I wonder where it's going.
Yeah, it must have a natural drain going into that.
that's what I'm thinking with that. I don't know what you'll call limestone or whatever there,
It may not be going to the creek though, it might be going.
could be going to another our areas.
Well,
It really doesn't have any place to go except for the creek, unless
no,
you
it
try to
could go
swim
down.
uphill, right?
It could go down.
Or down,
Right down.
Yeah.
How many acres is the lake?
Well, the entire property is,
I know that's 14,
it's 1/3, I think,
okay,
so whatever that.
like about 4 acres, okay.
Anything else, gentlemen?
No, sir.
Do we have a
Motion to,
adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
I second.
Let's get Katie to.
Yeah, Michelle's going back to school for master's degree, bachelor's or whatever it is. And then she's got